On a cold November morning, nuns and women of the church from across the region are putting some of the final touches on a piece of art that has been telling the story of Christ's birth for the last 22 years. That piece of art, the Pittsburgh Crèche. I'm Brian Crawford with the PGH Museums Production for First English Evangelical Lutheran Church, and together we're going to see how this fountain transforms into a 66,000-pound, 3-story tall crèche or nativity scene powerful enough to withstand 150-mile-per-hour winds and meet the people responsible for putting it all together. People like Sister Cindy Ann Kibler. She's been working on the crèche for at least 8 years, and she thinks the crèche has a special meaning this year with the coronavirus pandemic.
Especially right now during COVID time, we just need such a sense of hope in our lives. And as Christians, we know who that hope is Jesus Christ. And it's for everyone, really, that comes through Pittsburgh and sees, hears the music, sees the figures, and they just have a sense of knowing that there is more to life than what we're experiencing right now.
Before Sister Cindy and her team can get to work, the structure needs put in place. Scaffolding is placed within the fountain to handle the weight. 66,000 pounds is a lot of weight. Once in place, the carpenter's apprentices with the United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners of America get to work, unloading 4 tractor trailers used to store the structure throughout the year. Ray Walzer has been working on the project all 22 years. He retired, but he still keeps coming back to raise the crèche. He thinks the project has a lot of value in the apprenticeship program.
Yeah, what it gets them is it's a situation that they're not used to being in. They get down here, they get to work with the crane, they get to work in things that they're maybe not normally come into. And a lot of problem solving. You get down here and they have to learn how to basically work on the fly.
A large crane pulls in to place the gigantic steel walls and the roof in its home. Each section is lifted through the air and then mounted and secured by a team of apprentices. It seems hard to imagine how heavy these walls are watching the crane as they're effortlessly floated throughout the sky. The crèche is the only sanctioned replica of the crèche at St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. John Edkins, the production supervisor of the Pittsburgh Civic Light Opera and owner of JE Scenic Technologies, was part of the team responsible for bringing the crèche to Pittsburgh.
This started by a dream of Father Lingwin. He saw the Vatican in Rome, and then Lou Astorino and him talked about developing one for Pittsburgh, and it kind of took off after that. So Lou contacted me and asked me if I'd be interested in building it. So Civic Light Opera has a massive shop that we build it in. Lou, myself, and some engineers got around a round table, and all we did was do napkin drawings to try to put the Vatican into scale. We developed this off of pictures.
Pictures! Lou Astorino, an architect, John, and the diocese Monsignor Ron Lengwin created this from pictures. Can you imagine? The U.S. Steel Tower, and specifically the fountain, was the perfect place to recreate the crèche. The fountain was the perfect size, and after a previous crèche was taken down in the Allegheny County Courthouse after a lawsuit in 1989, the U.S. Steel Plaza, being private property, was ideal. With the walls secure and most of the roof in place, the Bethlehem Star could be raised to complete the structure. Lee Taylor is a scenic artist who's been working on the crèche for all 22 years. She, John, and their team maintain and repair the structure, and the life-size figures in the building. After the structure is built, the team adds the decorative stone wall, paints the floors, and works on repairs. Electricians and sound engineers come to bring the structure to life. Once ready, the figures are placed and bolted in and ready for Sister Cindy and her team to dress it up.
It's a wooden armature. All the joints are bolted, and they're made that way so that we can then move their arms to get their clothes and things on. So they look a little bit like if we want to raise their hands, or so that's why they're made like that. And a base that's lagged then to the floor so that the high winds down here doesn't topple them over.
This year's been a year like no other. Even the Pittsburgh Crèche was not immune to the COVID-19 pandemic. Fears on whether the 22-year cycle would continue were not put to rest until the last minute, and the multi-denominational blessing of the crèche was moved to a virtual blessing. In a year of closures and turmoil, hopefully the crèche can deliver some sense of consistency, normalcy, and peace in an uncertain, chaotic time.
What is this project mean to you? I mean, you've stuck with it for 22 years. Does it have like a sentimental value to you?
It sure does, and I'm glad to see it come back. I was real nervous. I didn't think I was going to, but it's like a baby to me, I guess. I want to take care of it as long as I can.
It does. It means a lot, and it's something that I look forward to every year because of my involvement, knowing that I was one of the creators of it for Pittsburgh. We're the only production facility in the United States, actually, the United States, that was authorized to build this, because you can't just build one and say it's the Vatican's. You have to get approved by the Vatican, and we do.
I think it's great for the city. I think it's great for everybody around here. People coming by getting a good feeling.
Christ is always with us, always near to us, and will always be with us. And I think that's what it's saying. And he's certainly still with us during COVID times.
I think just coming down here, well, in the past on Light Up Night, seeing all the people, seeing the little kids in awe, some of the mothers, fathers, they make it a yearly tradition, so you see them down here. It's pretty remarkable.
You have been listening to Building the Crèche, a PGH Museums production for First English Evangelical Lutheran Church. I was your host, Brian Crawford, and I want to give special thanks to First English Evangelical Lutheran Church, and specifically the youth, for all of your questions. Your questions help shape the narrative, and I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you to Monsignor Ron Langwin, who has really helped me behind the scenes, getting all of the guests in order and just giving me a wealth of knowledge that really helped put this together. Thank you to Winthrop Management LP, the building managers for U.S. Steel Tower who own the plaza, who have been very supportive and accommodating to us. Today's music was We Wish You a Merry Christmas by Alexander Nakarada. You can find the full credits to his music at pghmuseums.org. I want to wish you all a great Advent season, a Merry Christmas, and a healthy and safe holiday season. Explore some of the region's most dynamic murals in one of the most fascinating venues with the Society to Preserve the Millvale Murals of Max Ivanka. The Society works with the St. Nicholas Croatian Catholic Church to provide tours of the 25 murals painted on the church sanctuary walls. A mixture of religious and social commentary can be found with inspirations from World War II. What would it be like growing up in a church surrounded in these murals? We asked docent manager and church attendee Andrew Stefanik.
You'd always be finding something new when you were sitting here during Mass or during other ceremonies, and you'd maybe lose track of Mass, and your eyes would wander about the murals, and you would find something new. And even to this day, every time I come in here, I find something new in the murals.
Is there anything a visitor observed that's new to Andrew?
Absolutely. There are so many. Almost every time, and I would say the best tours are when somebody comes in and discovers something new or points something out new to me. And I would say my favorite parts about the tours that I give is the information that I share that I've gotten from others and gotten from visitors that were no experts or had no specific expertise, but just their attention was drawn to something specific.
Learn how these iconic murals connect you to the past and discover what they could teach you about the present with a tour from the Society to Preserve the Millvale Murals of Max Ivanka. Find out more at vancamurals.org.